Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the Danessa Myricks Enlight Illuminators, which I recently picked up. I thought I'd do a review and a swatch video of them since they're so hard to find online. For those of you who don't know this brand, Danessa Myricks, she is an M makeup artist and she's also been involved with many aspects of the industry. I was looking on her website, she's been involved in product development, so she consults for example, Benefit, and I think she's been involved in the development of their brow products. She's also done makeup for film, photography, as well as on celebrities, and she's also a makeup educator, so she holds classes as well. So I think that's great that she does all sorts of different things, and I think that it's amazing that she's come up with her own products. So I was really excited to try these. For many months I've heard so many good things about these. The only thing that was a prohibitive for me to buy them was that on her website they were selling for $20 US, and on top of that the $40 US shipping, which was just crazy. So when I was in New York and I saw them that they were in Alcone, I was really happy, and I picked up 9 shades. They do now stock on Alcone online website as well, and I believe the shipping is about $13 to Australia, so it's a lot more reasonable. I believe there are about 18 shades on her website. Alcone don't stock the full range, but they have the majority, and I have 9. You would think that, why would you have 9 different shades of illuminators or highlighters? But I don't just use them for my face, I use them on the eye, I use them, some of them as bronzers, blushes, all that sort of stuff. And I think they're very versatile. What I really like about this product is that all the pigments in here are so finely milled that they don't really show up very strongly, like grainy on the skin, and make your skin look very textured, which is what I find a lot of highlighters can do, especially as I have had acne earlier this year and have a lot of scarring and all that sort of stuff. I really stayed away from a lot of highlighters, but as my skin has recovered and gotten a bit better, I'm starting to wear a lot more highlighters now, and I much prefer ones that are more finely milled and blend seamlessly into skin than one that looks really grainy on your skin and really highlights all that texture. So I think that's another great thing about these highlighters, is that they don't do that. On her website, they are described as a illuminator to sort of make your skin look like they're lit from within, so I think that's great as well. So if you'd like to see swatches, please continue watching. Thank you. So here are the 9 shades that I bought from Alcone, and I'm going to go roughly in order of light to dark. As you can see, there's 2 lighter highlight shades, 3 pink tone shades, and 4 bronzy gold shades. What I really think is so great about these is that I feel like Danessa's really catered to every skin color and tone, and it's really refreshing to see products out there that are so inclusive. On our website, I did notice that each illuminator does have a recommended skin tone, and a lot of them do cater to medium to darker complexions, which isn't a surprise given that Danessa herself is a woman of color. The first shade is actually my favorite, and it's in the shade Synergy, and it's described as a duotone of soft pink and gold. To me, the pink shift looks a little bit purple, and it's what really makes the shade so unique. I've got the swatch comparison in natural light just because the shift doesn't come out really well in the new lighting, so please bear with me while I try and work out how not to drown myself in white light. So here's how I like to apply it on my cheekbones. I actually prefer to use a blush brush rather than a fan brush and sort of mix it in on top of my blush so it all becomes one. Here I'm using my Hakuhodo B5521 brush. Kind of wish I had easier to remember names. So yeah, I don't know if that pink is really picking up on camera with the lights, but I still think it has that beautiful shine and iridescence to it. I also wanted to mention that while I was Googling for Enlight swatches, I read on Linda Hallberg's blog that Synergy is a dupe for Pat McGrath's Skin Finish in Iridescent Pink, which is nice to know since her products are so hard to get your hands on unless you want to pay a ridiculous amount on eBay. Next we have Radiance, and it's another Pat McGrath Skin Finish dupe based off Linda's blog, this one for the Fine Gold Pigment 003. This shade is another that I really haven't come across. It's unique in the sense that it's a gold highlight, but on the cooler side. Commonly when I see gold highlighters, they can be very warm and yellow. This one is the complete opposite. As you can see, it's still got that white base to it, and in some lights it actually does have a silvery blue sort of reflex. And of course, like the previous one, none of the shimmer particles are chunky. So I really poorly attempted to highlight using a crown fan brush, and I think I just went on a bit too heavy-handed there. So I'm just going to, in a second, wipe off the excess. I'm also adding it to my upper lip to make my uneven top lip look a little bit bigger. And again, I'm a bit of a klutz when applying with a fan brush. Can you tell I don't use highlighter very often? Luckily it blends out really nicely and still looks pretty decent for a highlighter novice. Next we're moving on to the pink blush shades. This one is Tranquility, and on the website it's described as a rich warm brown copper tone shade, which I don't know, it just looks completely different in the jar to me. It looks more like a nude belly slipper pink with a silver shimmer to it, and when I look really closely I can even see some blue shimmer particles. So I think if you're buying this blindly without seeing swatches from the website expecting it to be copper, I think you're going to be a bit disappointed. Having said that, it's a nice shade and very multi-dimensional. Next is Serenity, which is in the middle and described as a neutral tan, or as I like to describe it, a dusty rose shade with a brown base. I'm just packing it on with my very unmanicured finger to show you how much you can build up in case you wanted to pack this on your eyelid, and with my Hakuhodo brush it applies a lot more subtly and gives the skin a nice tan flush. And then last of the pink shades we have Love, which is a gorgeous rose gold shade and another favourite next to Synergy. I also wanted to mention that on the back of each jar it has a 30 gram / 10 gram net weight, which basically means you're getting a 30 gram jar containing 10 grams of pigment, so it's about $2 a gram. I also tried looking up ingredients, but funnily enough they only appear on the back of the jar and some of them don't have them listed, like Tranquility and Radiance. But for the ones that do, they do seem to differ from shade to shade. Most of them contain mica, titanium dioxide and iron oxides. Some of them also have carmine, so obviously they're not vegan. I'm going to post all the ingredients in the description bar in case you're curious. I've emailed the support center if I could get a list for those that are missing, and they haven't replied, but hopefully if they do, I'll add them as well. Okay, so I decided to put a bit of Love onto my lips to give it a rose gold shimmer, but as you can see, I unintentionally went fully bling. The lipstick I'm wearing is Ginger Snap by Beauty Bakery, and layered on top of this as a base really brought out the gold. I think it looks kind of cool, and metallic lips are going back in, so why not? So moving on to the third row, which are bronze gold shades. First one is my favorite of these four, which is Gocha Glow, or Gocha Glow as my husband misread it, and I do see Danessa using this shade on her Instagram all the time, both on fair and darker skin tones, so I think it's pretty versatile. It's also the shade that I'm wearing in this video, and again I'm taking it with my Hakuhodo blush brush as my preferred method of application. On the website it's described as a golden peach, and it's one of those shades that reminds me of Radiant Light, which is that gold beige shade from the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, which looks different in the pan than how it is when it's applied. On my skin tone I can definitely see those peach undertones, and I really like how it makes my skin look more healthy and glowy, if that's a word. Then we have Attraction, which is a warm bronze champagne shade. To me it looks like a darker version of Gocha Glow. The pigmentation, like the others, is really good, and a little goes a long way. It's very easy to blend and buildable. Another thing I really appreciate is that there's a sifter in the jar, which means you can control how much you want to tap onto the lid and then apply to your face. So I thought I'd show you another way to wear it. On my lids I've just used the Melt Cosmetics Rust Stack, which are all matte eyeshadows, and then apply this all over the top to make it metallic, and I think it's a very clever way to transform a matte into a metallic look. I've applied this with my Chikuhodo Passion Series PS4 eyeshadow brush, which I love because it's a great brush for adding eyeshadows, but also because of the tapered shape you can really blend into the crease as well. I've applied it dry so the metallic sheen isn't overly dramatic, but of course you can apply it wet or over a black base if you wanted it to be a bit more obvious and the shimmer to stand out. Next is Passion, which is a warm bronze champagne shade. It is very pigmented and intense, and out of all the shades I have, this one seems to have the least amount of glitter particles and probably isn't as multi-dimensional as some of the others, but it's still a very gorgeous shade, and if you prefer that strong metallic shine without the sparkly reflex, then I think you'd really like this one. Lastly, we have Desire, which, to be honest, I couldn't really tell the difference between this one and Passion because they are very similar to the naked eye. I'd say that Desire leans more towards a red coppery bronze than Passion does, but you'd have to look at it very closely to differentiate them. Desire also has more shimmer particles and would provide more shine when applied. Okay, so those are all the swatches. I know I have this weird gold lip on and you don't have to wear it on your lips. I just wanted to try it to see what it looked like, and it turned out way more gold than I expected. I was thinking it would turn out like a rose gold shimmer, but it's gone full on gold. So I mean, unless you want to rock the gold lip, then go for it, but I probably won't wear this day to day. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.